we know what happens when governments lose control of the public finances, and that is they crash the economy and end up on that side of the House.
The S.N.P's Stephen Flynn had Rachel Reeves backed into a bit of a corner today in the House of Commons. The MP for Aberdeen South pressed the Chancellor over plans for more cuts in public spending after a backlash following the winter fuel payment cut, among other austerity-based policies that Labour have implemented so far. Her reply was not only very telling, but also completely contradictory to other statements she's made recently. Let's see what's happening.
Stephen Flynn.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Will the Chancellor of the Exchequer do what the Prime Minister refused to do yesterday and rule out future spending cuts?
That's a perfectly reasonable and well-put question there from Stephen Flynn, as always. Let's see how Reeves responds.
Chancellor, I'm not going to write 5 years' worth of budgets in the first 6 months of Labour government.
Oh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about.
What a giveaway indeed. The fact that she's trying to dodge this question like it's a swarm of angry wasps tells us that we can, of course, expect more cuts to come. Also, saying that she won't announce 5 years' worth of budgets within 6 months of office goes completely against this statement from a Channel 4 News interview 3 months ago.
Austerity doesn't mean cuts, doesn't it? And you're saying no cuts?
There'll be no return to austerity under this Labour government. Austerity was incredibly damaging for public services, yes, but also for our economic prospects because it choked off the growth that is necessary to improve living standards and bring businesses to Britain. So there'll be no return to austerity.
But I'm absolutely committed to meeting the fiscal rules that I set out in the budget October.
So you mean cuts, I believe Stephen is mouthing there, and I also believe he's absolutely right.
Because we know what happens when governments lose control of the public finances, and that is they crash the economy and end up on that side of the House.
What was that, Rachel?
Because we know what happens when governments lose control of the public finances, and that is they crash the economy.
Crash the economy? Like this, you mean? With the pound falling to its lowest level in a year, the cost of borrowing through the roof, and many economists predicting an upcoming economic crisis, it seems that someone like Reeves, with a background in IT customer services at Halifax Building Society, doesn't quite have the fiscal vernacular to steer this country in the right direction. As with the Tories, of course, any tax rises or spending cuts from Labour under Starmer will burden the poorest in society without the super rich having to pay their fair share yet again.
And end up on that side of the House.
Rachel might not have been on social media in the last 24 hours, but if she had, then she'd have seen that for reasons I've just stated, plus an abundance of others, that Labour now find themselves heading for a hung parliament at the next election, having dipped almost 9 points in the polls, and a similar gain from far-right Reform PLC now puts them just 1% behind the current government, according to the latest stats from YouGov. Gloating over an election victory while continuing the same policies as the previous government did might see her back on the opposition benches sooner than she thinks. This is all their own doing, of course. Starmer has spent the last 5 years trying to rid Labour of as many socialists as he can, while pandering to the right wing on hyperbolic issues such as immigration, and he's opened the door to the far right. That's what neoliberalism always has done and always will do. Starmer was put in place to undermine the genuine socialist leader that preceded him. Having done that and turned the party into version 2.0 of the Conservatives, it's left us in the utter ditch that we now find ourselves in as a nation. No doubt in their struggles, Labour will now try to appeal to socialists to get back on their side, but I'll finish with a reminder about what Starmer himself said in a message last year to those who didn't like the direction he was taking the party towards.
We can say firmly, proudly, confidently, the Labour Party has changed. The Labour Party is unrecognisable from 2019. If you don't like that, if you don't like the changes that we've made, I say the door is open and you can leave.
Get to Keith. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons to help us out on the algorithm. You can now join the channel with a membership for just 99p with some great perks for you to enjoy, including exclusive content and early viewings, plus lots more. And you get to join the list of awesome people who support the channel that you can see on your screen right now. hit the join button or follow the links in the channel description. If you'd like to make a one-off contribution, then please hit super thanks on the video or follow the link to our Buy Me a Coffee page, where you can help to show solidarity and support the channel for just the price of a tasty hot beverage. All contributions are greatly appreciated. Thanks again everyone. My Left Eye, be seeing you soon.